Hey, how's it going? I'm Ryan Hefner, and this is the All Play Podcast. So, I wanted to give you a little update since the last episode. To give you a little, getting a phone call. Don't need that right now. So, give you a little update on what's been going on and what is next. So, not to, I guess, to get down to some of the stuff around starter packs. The last episode update I gave was I did a bunch of updates to the website. I made it to where more of the pages were server-side rendered. I made it to where there was navigation points that would basically allow a crawler to follow all of the infinite scrolling that was on the site, as well as tabbed content and all this other stuff. So all of that stuff is working. The numbers are actually getting pretty good. It has brought I think I said originally before I did any of the optimizations, we were at around 3,000, 3,300 or so index pages. It ended up dropping down to like 2,000, I think, because, I just ruffled the Google Search Console's feathers a little bit by basically having it try to revalidate some stuff. And then there was the one downside is that because I am relying on Blue Sky for some of for a lot of actually the data that builds out these pages. If there's a problem with Blue Sky, there's a problem with starter packs. And that's just something I'm going to have to deal with. But the crawlers have definitely been crawling. It's been kind of crazy. I think it's, at this point, I'm actually paying quite a bit to Vercel this month, just because of all the crawling that's been happening on the website. So compared to the actual visitors, there's way more crawlers going on. And I think in the last episode I said that it got up to 17,000. Well, we actually jumped up to about 45,000, which has been great. Although there was some validation issues, so it kind of dropped down to 33. So I think it's going to be this kind of push and pull, trying to get the numbers back up. I'd love it. Obviously, if I can get it back up into the million or so mark, that would be great. But right now, they are what they are, and I'm just going to let those run. I am going to start publishing some articles and do some kind of like content marketing stuff for the website. I'm going to hold on features right now, but I just want to see if I can try to just get some more users to it and try to get more people connecting. So we almost have about 100 people who have connected their Blue Sky account, and I'd really like to get that number higher. So we'll see where it goes. And I think I hinted that, I had another project that I was wanting to work on, and I've been working on it. So I think it might have even been the same day that I recorded that podcast. I ended up basically spinning up a new repo, and I am working on skylounge.social. So skylounge.social is going to be basically, my goal is that it's going to be kind of the X/Twitter Spaces alternative for Blue Sky. And obviously not coupled to being within the Blue Sky app or anything like that. So it's going to be, you authenticate with your Blue Sky account. You're going to be able to basically create rooms that you're going to have sessions within, and you'll be able to have these audio-based sessions that people can join in and listen to, and maybe even speak in. And so it's going to be kind of like a Twitter Spaces or Clubhouse, but it's going to be a website. And you're going to have to authenticate with your Blue Sky account in order to use it. I think there's going to be some interesting things that I can do with that integration. So essentially, being able to auto post when a session begins, as well as take advantage of the social graph. So being able to basically add speakers of either people that you follow, or just in general, you could search for people. Probably some tie-ins with starter packs, like being able to make like a starter pack of all the guests and speakers that were within like a specific session. That's another thing that I'm exploring right now is really the data model. And so where the X/Twitter Spaces thing, it seems like, at least based off of what I've playing around with the app, I've been doing a lot of screenshotting and just trying to figure out what is all there so I can at least have some sort of parity with it. But it does seem that The Twitter Spaces thing, it's really like you either schedule a space or you create a space, and then that space just goes. There's no kind of consolidation or grouping of those spaces that I can tell. I've seen some sites that have actually kind of um, have to dig into like what if they're using a service or something, but it looks like they're basically able to. Maybe they're even just publishing like an embed or like the share link or something, and kind of like um, content managing their own collection of the spaces that they've held. But or maybe it's actually they're pulling it off of like spaces that are associated to a host on our profile. I'll have to figure that out. But um, it's not going to be the way that it works on Skylounge. So on Skylounge, the idea is that a host can make a room. That room can then have sessions that occur underneath it. And then that also becomes kind of like a meeting place of sorts that, you can hopefully rely on, you can go to, you can see when the next one is up and coming. Obviously, you can then subscribe or follow or get like alerts from that room when like a new session's either been scheduled or when one starts. So I think there could be some cool stuff to play around with that. I like the idea of basically having an archive of the sessions there, and obviously eventually having the archives of the actual recordings. But I'm going to, do some baby steps. I'm going to start with just kind of the live social show, and then eventually keep digging in and do some of the recording stuff. The site is live, at least the landing page is currently. So skylounge.social. Go subscribe to the newsletter. I'll be sending updates as I build out the project. And I've been doing a lot of live streaming. So I guess I've been kind of using live streaming as a way of, I don't know, maybe as like a dopamine thing. I've been thinking about this whole like, how do you kind of multiply your effort? So if I'm going to be sitting there, working on this site at night and thinking about these things, it's really not that big of a lift to just turn on the camera and, fire up I'm using Ecamm Live, fire up Ecamm and just start streaming it. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been basically streaming and capturing these sessions. So if you want to follow along, you can either follow me on YouTube. It's I'm at Ryan_Hefner, and you'll get notifications on when there's live streams. I've been putting all of the building of skylounge.social in its own playlist. So if you want to go back, you can check out some of those episodes. I'm going to warn you, they're not the most exciting episodes. Obviously, I'm just live coding and I'm kind of trying to explain what's going on when. So they're not the most thrilling things. I think it probably will be more fun to join a live one, because I would love to get some more interactions as I'm building this, just so that people can kind of we can vibe off one another. Also, if you're working on something, I really kind of look at these as like almost like co-working sessions. So I would love it if someone wants to also, I'm down to even have them hop on the stream if they also want to share like what they're working on, and we can kind of just piggyback off each other's, momentum of actually putting in the work and sharing it with people and see where that goes. So I've been doing that. I think it's actually going pretty good. So I already have obviously the landing page. I had a few hiccups with the NX repo that I originally started off with. I ended up going back to an earlier version, and I think that might actually end up being its own episode of me kind of embracing vintage code, because I feel like there's just certain versions of certain packages and things that just seem to work better with the way that I work. And it's kind of interesting. I just don't know if I'm just not aligned with what their current future direction stuff is, but that might be a whole other thing. But I got through those. The repo is nice and finely tuned, and I feel like I'm working pretty fast. I already have a lot of I basically have the majority of the API schema set up to what I think is going to be the final version. Obviously, there's probably going to be tweaking as I kind of continue to flesh things out. I have a socket server that's wired up, and being able to share stuff between the client and the API server, as well as like a WebRTC connections for all of the streaming negotiation stuff. So I'm finalizing that. It's getting pretty close. I think it's going to be pretty fun, and I'm hoping to have a kind of like an early beta release out soon. And I want to try to start inviting some people and having some conversations on it. My goal is actually to have it done by the end of the month, because there's a let me actually see what the thing is called. I think it's called like release day or something like that. But I saw it pop up and I was like, oh, this is like the perfect motivation for me to basically try to fast track and get this thing out. Let me try to see if I can find it real quick. And I'll put the link to it in the show notes. So yeah, it's release day. It's going to be Friday, May 30th. So it's only 21 days away. I'm going to have to do a lot of hustling. But I think I can get it done. The basic goal will be, you can authenticate with your Blue Sky account, which you can already do. You can create a room, which you can already do. You'll be able to initiate a session, which I think you can already do. The thing that I'm working on now is really just the managing of the speakers and the WebRTC connections and being able to share those with all the peers and all this other kind of stuff. So I'm going to try to button that up over the next, hopefully, day or two. And then it'll be just a lot of kind of fine tuning it. So I guess I'm doing the public commitment. I'm going to try to shoot for Friday, May 30th. Skylounge.social will be in a, kind of exploratory period. I'm hoping that kind of like having Sky Lounge and then being able to kind of couple that with being able to create starter packs and being able to surface starter packs from starterpacks.net, kind of bringing the two sites together might also create a little bit of extra momentum around both projects. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to end it there. Skylounge.social, check it out. And I think I actually have a few more episodes that I'm going to try to record over maybe even today or the next couple of days. I just had a lot of ideas this morning. I was out for my run and I started just adding stuff to an Apple Notes, thinking about all the different things I want to talk about. So I might start having more than just like sprinkling out these shows once every week or so. But I'm going to leave it there. Again, I'm Ryan Hefner. This is the All Play Podcast. Follow along at allplay.fm and hope to see you soon on a Sky Lounge near you. All right. Have a great one.